Well, we're off to Alaska on Mike's bucket list boat trip.
Definitely is my bucket list boat trip. At least one we should do as long as we're in the Pacific Northwest. I think you'll like it.
Last walk down our dock for 4 months. We have an end tie. You won't be walking down here for a while, girls.
No. No cars or trains. No horns to bother.
Okay, we are just leaving our slip. Goodbye, Tacoma. Leaving our slip on April 23rd. We got everything done, minus the chain replacement. That didn't come on time, so we had to cancel. We're gonna have to just make do with what we have. But we got everything else done. We had to move our storage unit, and we had to go through all our stuff. We actually downsized the storage. We went from a 10 by 11 to a 10 by 7. Saved us quite a bit of money and was freeing, just getting rid of more stuff after a year from our house move of things that we were like, yeah, we don't really need this. It's not important. So off to Goodwill or friends, our stuff went. Now we're just leaving the Foss Waterway. Won't be back for 4 months. It'll be interesting when we do come back if these large derelict boats are here. They were ordered to dock here because there's problems with them that they have to fix before they can leave. But they're not paying moorage, they're ruining the dock. They're an eyesore. And we'll see what happens. See if they're still here. They've been here since, probably October of 2024.
In preparation for our 2,000-mile trip to Alaska, we tackled a long list of winter maintenance projects to make sure the boat is ready for the journey. First up was our annual waxing. Not glamorous, but essential for protecting the gel coat. After that, I tackled our starboard boarding gate, which meant gel coat and fiberglass repairs. Fuel system maintenance came next. I rebuilt all of the Raycor filters from the main filters to the fuel transfer pump filter to the generator filter. These items had not been serviced in a very long time. It was a time-consuming job, but clean fuel is critical when you're heading offshore. We also replaced the transmission and wing engine. It had developed a small leak, and since the mechanics couldn't guarantee a repair, and the cost of a repair was more than half of a new transmission, replacing it outright was the smarter choice. From there, I installed a new high water bilge pump and then moved on to the generator. That project included fitting new installation in the generator sound shield, replacing the exhaust elbow and cleaning out the heat exchanger tubes and installing new end cap boots. Next, I rebuilt the crane control box, adding a new transformer and relays. We also installed a new AC unit in our salon and finally swapped out our Victron inverter that was under recall warranty. With all that complete, I felt the boat was ready to take to Alaska.
There's Seattle.
We have set a fairly aggressive daily schedule for the first few weeks of this trip, so we barely arrive in Port Ludlow, our preferred stop before crossing the Strait of Juan de Fuca into Canada, meet up with our boating buddies on Empress, and toast to this bucket list cruise before we have to untie the lines again and head to our next stop.
Yeah, Todd, we are off. It's
Yes.
vacation time.
To Alaska.
Alaska.
Prayed over our trip this morning. God bless and keep all of us and
Yes.
our boats and our puppies safe and sound. Thank you.
We're just leaving Port Ludlow, our first stop on our way to Alaska. And the sun is just coming up. We got up at 4:30 this morning. And it's about 5:45. And it's beautiful here in Port Ludlow. Just gorgeous. This morning I could hear loons singing in the harbor. So pretty. All those birds up there. Sunrise. Second day on our way to Alaska, and look at this gorgeous, gorgeous sunrise. Okay, we are just arriving in Port of Sydney after a very eventful cruise over the Strait of Juan de Fuca that we'll Give everyone an update a little later.
That is for sure. It was eventful. Kept us on our feet all the way from kelp to killer whales to
The RCMP.
boring.
All right, so we're here.
About 10 feet away from the dock. Five feet away from the dock. You want to keep doing that. You're hugging the dock. Looking good. The Port of Sydney is a favorite stop for us. Shopping is close by, so we can easily provision for the items we could not bring across the border, and the area is scenic and very walkable. We really enjoyed the cherry blossom trees and tulips in full bloom while we walked the dogs. So we just finished walking the dogs. We're here in the Port of Sydney, and we're just sitting here and kind of laughing and talking about the crossing we had today over the Strait of Juan Fuca. It's always an adventure. You never know what you're going to get, but on this particular occasion, we had three crazy things happen. One pretty much right after another, and it made for one of our most eventful passages yet.
Oh, it sure did. I mean, the first surprise came when we noticed the boat's speed was slowing down and the starboard stabilizer was kind of getting a little sluggish. And it turns out that there was a giant piece of kelp, and I do mean giant. It was at least 30 feet long, and it had wrapped itself around our starboard stabilizer fin. So what we did was we went out, got our boat hooks, and kind of started wrestling with it to get it dislodged. After a lot of struggle and a lot of grief, we managed to get it off the fin, and that allowed us to get back going again. The next thing that happened, which was about an hour or two later, was very exciting too. It was we were just cruising up, just got into Canada, and we were thinking about calling in on our Nexus, looking up the phone number, and all of a sudden a Canadian RCMP boat pulled up alongside us, and the guy came out, and I went out and looked at him, and he said, "Hey, we'd like to board you." So we, same as when we've been boarded in the U.S., we continued on at the current speed. They just came up alongside us and jumped onto the boat, two of them. And basically they were doing a check for illegal drugs, contraband, weapons, that sort of stuff. And they took a cursory look at our safety equipment. Everything was in order. Naturally, we didn't have any guns or drugs. So they decided after a nice chat and a good visit and looking around the boat that it was time for them to go. So they called their partner over. He got the boat pulled up alongside, they jumped back in, and off they went.
Yes, and then the third thing that happened is when I was downstairs making coffee, I happened to look out the window, and there's a boat right next to us, and kind of freaked me out. And so I'm yelling at Mike, "There's a boat!" And anyways, it turned out to be a fisheries boat, and they
I don't know why they didn't hail us on the radio, but they got up next to us and pretty much said, hey, can you change your course? There's a large pod of orcas ahead, and we need you to, you know, veer off. And so, of course, Mike did that happily. We don't like to endanger wildlife, especially whales. We love whales. So
We sure do.
So yeah, we veered off and started back on our way.
Well, we're ready for day 3. We finished provisioning here in the beautiful port of Sydney, and now Escapade is ready to untie and head across the Strait of Georgia as we continue north toward new adventures. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, drop us a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so you'll be the first to catch the next leg of our journey.